2024 was a great year for action figures, so let's rate the top 5 best figures of the year, as well as some honorable mentions and your favorite figures as well. So 2024 is done. It's all done, and as far as action figures are concerned, what a freaking awesome, ridiculously, incredibly great year it was. We've gotten so many good figures this year, and it's awesome. It's so awesome. So I can't wait to go over what I think my top 5 best figures of the year are, as well as some of your favorite figures of the year, and some honorable mentions as well. But I also do want to quickly just say a quick, huge thank you to everyone who's watched any of these videos this year. 2024 has actually been kind of crazy. This channel went from like 60,000, which was great, to now we're at well past 200,000 in 2024, and that's just amazing, and I'm so grateful. So thank you for watching this video. If you watched any of those videos, if you're not subscribed yet, 2025 is just going to be that much better. As long as we continue to get great action figures, I'm going to keep making videos about them. So please, if you're not subscribed, I definitely recommend it. Before we get into my top 5, let's talk about a few honorable mentions and some really great figures we've gotten this year. So my first honorable mention goes to Venompool. I know this was a re-release of a Build-A-Figure, but it still came out in 2024, and this was my first experience with it, and I was just so blown away with the quality for the price range, for the price point with this figure. I was so impressed with Hasbro, and honestly, they impressed me a lot this year, and they also frustrated me a little bit too. I couldn't believe how the articulation, how good it looked for the like normal price range. Like, it was kind of just incredible. And actually, one of the photos I took with this figure ended up getting 10 million or something on YouTube, and I'm really grateful for that. So there's a lot of things about this figure that are making me really love it, and I just love the design of him, and just all of the Deadpool with this year anyway probably put me in the mood for this guy in general. So this is definitely an honorable mention for me. Like, what a cool freaking figure this is. And next is, yeah, a figure that I forgot came out in 2024, the Metagross Jazzwares figure. This thing is so cool. This thing is, look at this thing. It's freaking cool. This was the pinch me moment where I was like, you know what? In 2024, we're getting legitimate, cool, actual action figures of Pokemon that aren't just Charizard, and I'm so happy about it. And the price is great, and this was just kind of like the beginning for me, like, you know what? I could post Pokemon videos and people might actually watch them, and I was just so happy, and I had a great time painting this little X face thing, whatever. I hope you were able to find this. I know a lot of people struggled finding him. Were you able to pick him up, or do you not care at all? Totally worth mentioning. So my next honorable mention is this little guy. Honestly, 2024 was a great year for SpongeBob. We got some Nendoroids, we got some more Super 7 stuff, we got the other Super 7 in the end of 2023, so it's kind of like around that time, you know. But man, this SpongeBob I thought was even better than the Super 7, and then quickly opened up the Patrick too to go along with it, and it feels good to have like legitimate figures of SpongeBob now too, like legitimate, really good figures too. There's also a really great bootleg of this out there too. A perfect SpongeBob figure like this. You can't not mention it. The Super 7 was on my honorable mentions last year, but this one's even better. The resurgence of Street Shark toys is not just a highlight of action figures in 2024, it's a monumental pop culture historic moment. Or, I mean, maybe that's a little bit much, but honestly, not a lot of things made me quite as happy, and it's very rare for me to feel super nostalgic for things. If you're a fan of this kind of thing, I can't imagine how they wouldn't just make you so incredibly happy. And I think it was pretty unanimously agreed upon that these were just so cool, and we have more coming. Like, did you ever think that would happen? Like, if you're a 90s kid, did you ever think you'd be getting new Street Sharks and then more, even more? Like, oh, it's just, what a great time to be a collector. My last honorable mention is the Bone Brawler Whoosh skeleton figure, and honestly, I'm starting to regret not putting this right into my actual top 5, because this figure is so cool. I did a whole video on all the best skeletons out right now, and this is number 1 for me, and I still stand by it. And with the accessories and how much personality it looks, how it still looks spooky and creepy, it's just like the best possible skeleton in my opinion. It's so cool, and I used it in so many photos this year. It just like came in handy so many times. I wish I bought more of them. And this is another one though that's a little bit hard to get a hold of, unfortunately, but I'm curious, did you get a hold of this guy? Do you love him as much? But I'm starting to really think I should have put this in my top 5. Okay, well, here come my top 5, but remember, pretty much 100% opinion based, and anytime I do top 5 lists, people pretty much always disagree with me and think that I have the weirdest top 5 choices, but you know what? Here we go. These are my top 5 action figures of 2024. Let's go. Number 1 is... Excuse me? Jar Jar Binks, SH Figuarts. Honestly, number 5 might even be a crime. This guy should be number 1 on a million lists. This figure is amazing. It's so good. We've been waiting so many years. Any kind of Jar Jar Binks figure. We did get a Black Series one, right? But that one was okay. Didn't capture the personality and just wackiness of Jar Jar Binks, but this figure does. To all the Jar Jar fans that are out there who get, ridiculed because it's Jar Jar Binks, we have been heard and we have been rewarded for all these years of loving him with this wonderful figure that SH Figuarts has given us. Man, I'm so happy about it. And I was so inspired by it too. I loved the photo I took with, the pit droid kicking him in the nuts. Oh, it was great. And if you picked this figure up too, I hope you just fell in love with it just as much as I did, because man, I really did. And just talking about it right now makes me so happy. A lot of these figures are figures that I not only love the figures, but the characters have a meaning to me. Anyway, Jar Jar, you deserve it, man. We love you. Come on, we love you. Okay, number 4. Oh my goodness. Yes, number 4. Number 4 is the Hayatoys King Ghidorah. Whew, man, this figure is so cool. I was thinking, like, what's gonna be my top 5? Oh, Ghidorah's definitely gotta be in there. Like, that was the first thing I thought of, but then I'm like, wait, it's still a figure. I mean, it's giant and compared to everything else, but yeah, it still counts. Of course it counts. Yes, it counts. I don't think there was a whole lot of figures or really anything else that made me say wow more than this thing. It just shocked me. It was shocking. This figure is shocking and striking, and nothing else had quite that same reaction to me than this figure, more than this figure. Like, it's just really cool. All of this is articulated and it looks incredible. The photo I took of this too is also one that I'm so proud of. I feel so good when I look at that. I'm like, yeah, I did that. A lot of that is because of how great the figure is. And yeah, it's over $100, like 110 bucks, but I think it's worth it. All of this, I think it's totally worth it. So the price is good. I opened up a lot of Godzilla stuff this year, and actually this is my first real introduction to Hayatoys this year, and so here you go. Here's a great representation of how great Hayatoys is and what my year of Godzilla was like. An easy top 5er is this King Ghidorah. I'm curious, did you have any Godzilla or Hayatoys figures in your top 5? I mean, there's a lot of good stuff and a lot more coming out next year. Can you, that light up one coming out? Oh my goodness, that looks awesome. I can't wait. Anyway, lots of love for this amazing King Ghidorah. Long live the king. By the way, all the figures in this video, I'll have links in the description if you want to pick these guys up. So head down there, as well as links to buy all of these figures. I also have done videos, full video reviews on every single one of these figures, and I'll have that linked in the description too. So if you want more details about each one of these figures, go ahead, watch the full reviews. They're all there too, I promise. That's gonna be linked in the description. It's all on the channel. It's all there. I promise it's there. So number 3 is actually the only third-party figure I've got on this list at all. Not because there weren't a lot of them, but this was the only one that really had a really profound impact on me. Like, I really was so happy about this figure. This is the Fighter V by Felix Toys? Jeez, I don't even remember the brand, but it's basically a third-party fake V for Vendetta figure. Back in 2005 when this movie came out, I was like 11 years old, and I fell in love with this movie. Even though I didn't understand it at all, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. I thought he was so cool. I've always hoped and dreamed for a good action figure, and we never really got one. I mean, there's some out there, but now we have this incredible third-party V figure, and it's beautiful. Oh my god, it's beautiful. It's not perfect. There definitely were some issues with it. There were. I was so happy that this was still a 2024 figure. I thought this was last year, but no, it's not. It's certainly this year. And man, I had a blast with this. Literally had a blast with this figure. If you don't have this guy, he might still be available. I would pick him up, but once again, this might be a weird choice for me and my top 3 figures of the year. V for Vendetta, who? I'm sure there's plenty of youngsters out there that are like, what? And you know what? That's okay, but I love this figure. It's so cool. And these little daggers are like real metal. They're like aluminum. Like, what the heck? So cool. So incredibly cool. What a beautiful figure this is. And man, this might be recency bias, but the Mezco Indiana Jones is number 2 for me. This figure is really cool, and the more I've used it, the more it has grown on me, and I've loved it more and more ever since I opened it up. Because man, so last week I did a whole video on this figure, comparing it to the Figuarts, the Hasbro, the most indie video ever, the longest video I've ever done, by the way, 28 minutes. At first I wasn't so blown away, but the more I kept using it, and the more I edited the video, looking at it, I was like, man, this is amazing. What an amazing Indiana Jones in 1/12 scale this is. Like, this is him. This is Indy right here in a little miniature form. I really loved that video because every comment was so different than the next comment. Everyone was loving different figures for different reasons, and that made me really happy. But this one easily took the cake for me. Just like the soft goods, face sculpt, and the posing, and all the crazy accessories. Just what a beautiful figure. And if you're an Indiana Jones fan, which I know there's a lot of people that hold Indiana Jones real dear to their heart, like I do, and so this is like the perfect figure for you if that's the way you're feeling, at least in my opinion. Probably the most expensive one on my top 5. And if you missed that video, it's up on the channel right now, and it's very, very recent. So thank you, Mezco. And my favorite figure of 2024 is actually my favorite figure, period. It's the Mafex Mandalorian 2.0. Honestly, this was easy for me. This was very easy. It's my favorite version of my favorite character from my favorite franchise. Like, it's just easy. Star Wars is always number 1 for me. Mando's my favorite character, and this is the best Mando figure we've got, in my opinion. I think, honestly, it's my opinion. It's also got the best accessory ever for any figure. This bagged Grogu is the best accessory ever. I used it in my indie shot from the last Indiana Jones video too, but just this figure is the best. I did a bunch of Mandalorian reviews in the beginning of the year. Black Series, Figuarts, Mafex, which was the best? This one. It had the best proportions, not the best articulation, but it had the best looking everything, and I was really happy with the photo I took with this figure too. I'm so happy, and anytime I did any type of live stream, you know, I'm constantly getting the question, what's your favorite figure? And it's this, Mafex Mando 2.0. It's this one. Kind of curious as to what the next Mando is gonna be. Like, how are they gonna top this? Like, come on. I guess we'll have to wait and see for the movie to come out. Do you have this figure? Do you like the Figuarts more than this one, or the Black Series? I'm curious to know. I'm very curious to know. He's number 1. Sorry if that's disappointing to you, but he's number 1. Before we get into your top favorite figures, what do you think about my list? Does it totally suck? Is it a W or is it an L? I mean, I think it's a W, obviously. Does my list suck or is it awesome? I think it's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, it is. Just comment that it's awesome. All right. So I threw up a post in my YouTube community tab the other day asking, what was your favorite figure of 2024? And thank you so much everyone who responded. There's so many great responses. A lot of I agree with, and a lot that I'm like, I didn't even think about that. But so far, I think the number 1 thing that I have seen the most is definitely just Deadpool and Wolverine. Marvel Legends, Deadpool and Wolverine. Groot 4, Tooper, loved that one, and a lot of others loved all the Deadpool and Wolverine. Colin loved it too. I agree. They were really great figures. Alex Default 6658 says, my favorite figure 2024 is the Black Series Mando with the soft goods cape. That's still, I think, the best Black Series ever. So yeah, I'm right there with you too, man. That was a great figure. The Bond Report says the Muff Toys Agent Daniel Craig James Bond figure. I've got a couple Muff Toys figures coming in very soon that I'll do videos on that I'm very excited for. So that's very good to hear that Muff Toys is looking really good. That's great to hear. The second, I think, most common favorite figure too is probably Sonic. Lots of love for Sonic. The Legendary Shorts 2024 says Jakks Pacific Sonic 3 figures. My Shadow may have slight leg issues, but he's still dope. Honestly, yeah. Those Sonic and Shadow figures are so exciting. They didn't make my top 5 just because I'm not a huge Sonic guy, but I was very impressed with them. I was a lot, actually. They're pretty dang awesome figures. Lots of love for Sonic. It's a pretty recent, maybe there's a little recency bias, or maybe it's just because they're awesome. I don't know. My Chat 1886 says Hiya Toys Godzilla 2014 is my top 1. I've got that one coming soon too, and I'm doing a video on him, so that's good to know that he's your number 1 for you. Lots of other other love for just Hayatoy's Godzilla in general, which is just great to hear. Like, Hayatoy's killing it, absolutely killing it. Dad's Shots gives us his whole top 5 and says, number 1 is a tie between Mezco, Holiday, Gomez, and Popeye. Number 2 is the Mezco Slashers, Jason, Freddy, Mike, and Leatherface. Number 3 is the YOLO Park Gen 1 Optimus Prime. That was awesome. Number 4, Mezco Superman Man of Steel. Oh, nice. Okay. And number 5 was the Black Series Empire Strikes Back Stormtrooper Gary. Man, that's more like a top 9 or 10, Andrew, Comic Dad, but a great choice. Lots of great choices. Ralkio says Hayatoy's Energized Godzilla. I think you mean the Hayatoy's Gatorade Godzilla, but I could be wrong. I think you meant the Gatorade Godzilla. JC3 Teacher also said the Foosh Bone Brawler. Heck yes, that figure is awesome. Yes. And as per usual, there's just a lot of Spider-Man love going on here. We've got some figure arts, some Marvel Legends stuff, and especially the Secret Wars line that has come out recently too. Seeing a lot of love for that. Man, the Spider-Man love is just evergreen. It's crazy. Everyone will always love Spider-Man forever. I mean, rightfully so, for sure. I'm surprised there's not a lot of bootlegs on here. I thought people would be saying bootlegs. I mean, we do love boots in this house, for sure. So as far as my worst favorite figures of the year, though, I definitely don't think I even have enough that I hated to even make a top 5. There was like 1 or 2 that I didn't like very much, but no, I don't have enough to make a hated top 5. Sorry, only good stuff, for sure, but there were so many figures this year. I would love to know your top 5. What did you love the most? What are your top 5 figures? What's your number 1? Let me know in the comments. What did I screw up? What did I get right? Let me know. What are you most excited for in 2024? I mean, 25. What are you most excited for in 2025? There's a whole lot coming very soon. Honestly, one of the things I'm most excited for that's coming in 2025 are these Ling Jihun Pacific Rim figures. They're out there right now, but I mean, that's probably my most excited one. Anyway, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you again so much for such a wonderful year on this YouTube channel. I can't believe how far this channel has come, and I appreciate you so incredibly much. And like I said, thank you for watching and even getting this far, and I hope to see you in the next video. Happy New Year!